First is item 1N, approve amendment for professional cleaning services. This is pulled by Member Soria.
Jennifer, are you going to be answering? Okay. I think Terry had sent out 4 questions, but I don't know if we ever got responses back. So there are a couple. Do you want me to just read what we had sent?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Yes, we did respond, but I'd be happy to.
Okay, because she's not here, so that's why.
Oh, that's okay.
I
Sure.
don't know if she got the information.
Yeah.
I think just a couple of clarification questions that I wanted to ask. One was about the hire and the training of the employees from the Lowell neighborhood.
Right.
So I don't know if you wanted to kind of speak to that. We had
Sure.
asked, will you guys be hiring and training also for the folks in Yakomi, Kirk, and as you guys are expanding to the Jefferson neighborhood?
Sure. So Lowell Property Services that's going to be facilitating the contract. The increase in the amount of the contract actually doesn't warrant additional hires. But should there be an opening, Lowell Property Services will be expanding their recruitment to these new neighborhoods.
Okay. And I know that, I think in the staff report it mentioned that you guys are hoping that in a few months some of the services wouldn't be needed in maybe, is it the Lowell neighborhood? Because they've been there already for some time. Do you guys have kind of a time frame? What do you think? How have you guys created the sustainability where you wouldn't need those types of services?
Well, I'll say this, that we're learning as we go with regard to alleys. So, one of the things that we're learning is, so in terms of which neighborhood we're going to be pulling out, we're evaluating 2 currently. And we're in kind of preliminary conversations with residents and key stakeholders around the transition of those services. One of the things that we're learning along the way, which I don't think is a complete surprise to council, is that neighborhoods where we have high homeownership percentages and where we have low multifamily, a low number of multifamily properties, that when those 2 criteria sort of meet up, that we have really not so much trouble maintaining the alleys in an ongoing way with resident participation and other stakeholders. So we're evaluating 2 neighborhoods right now that we're in. We've seen some really good success, and so the timeline is early 2017. We're thinking the first few months.
And do you guys anticipate impacting, I guess, the amount of funds as we move forward, or is this kind of will be sufficient for the type of work that you guys will be doing for the next year or so?
Yeah, so if we move out of a neighborhood, obviously that will reduce the contract. Is that what you're asking? You're asking will we need more going forward?
Yeah, it's just because I guess you're in an evaluation phase to figure out if, right?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, I think we're going to move out of one in early 2017.
And what do you think, I think it's exciting to hear that it seems like, that you guys can transition out and expand to other neighborhoods. I think that's great. What do you think have been some of the successes? And I ask because I think that the work that is being done in Lowell, Kirk, Jefferson, probably many of my council colleagues would probably also want to see some of that in their districts.
Right.
I get a lot of complaints, and Bruce knows about the alley issue, which I know that you guys are addressing with these funds. So I'm just interested in kind of figuring out what have you guys found as the success or successes that have helped you guys, and how can we maybe translate that over to other districts like the areas that I represent, like in the Tower, the Fresno High area, which experience some of the same issues that these neighborhoods that you guys are working in have.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of neighborhood revitalization teams' work, I mean, let me just say that we've obviously identified, we're in 5 neighborhoods. We've got the next 10 sort of identified, which take us into early 2018. So, and the goal is sustainability. That's always the goal. And so our goal is building neighborhood capacity so that, we really can come in, partner with residents, support their vision, support the vision of other stakeholders, and ultimately bring the necessary resources so that the infusion of time and energy and resource that we put into a community is not needed perpetually, right? So we want to be able to make this transition. We're really thrilled because we're evaluating not just with Lowell Property Services as an alley service cleanup, but we're actually looking more broadly than that at other neighborhoods that we're currently in to transition into those final modes of sustainability. So I just want to say that we are having a lot of success, and we feel great about that as it stands right now. We're not just hearing that from our staff. I mean, to evaluate this, we have a series of metrics that we look at, and obviously resident input is critical in this process and evaluating success. Other stakeholder success is critical for us in Unified's evaluation, et cetera, et cetera. I think in terms of looking at how some of what we're learning can be translated into Fresno High and other neighborhoods and other council districts, that's probably a conversation to have sort of in the future that I'd love to have kind of in a more in-depth way.
And probably I think as we're transitioning to the other 10 neighborhoods that were selected, right, that were identified earlier on by the administration, I think it includes part of my district. So I'm excited to, I guess, hear some of more in depth, and maybe
Absolutely.
we can meet
I'd love to do that.
offline about how we can work together, because I want to
Great.
see some of those same successes in my area.
That'd be great. Thank
Thank you.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
It's your turn. Do you want to make a motion? I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Member Soria, seconded by Member Baines. All those in favor? Opposed? Passes 5-2 with members Brandow and Olivier voting no.